Welcome back. The big story at age 30 tonight. Parents in Palm Bay are concerned about an intersection they say is dangerous. Now, here's the intersection that we're actually talking about. You can see that right there at Heritage Parkway and Malabar Road. Well, Fox 35's Esther Bauer is near that intersection tonight with more on why people think it's dangerous.
In the past 3 years, Palm Bay police tell us there have been 28 crashes at this site, with some cars driving right into these woods over here. Now, in the area, there is just one stop sign here on St. John's Heritage Parkway, right near the high school. Now, neighbors are asking for something to be done before someone loses their life.
They need to do something about it before kids are dying, because that's what's going to happen.
This mom is worried because she sees danger every day on St. John's Heritage Parkway.
It is accidents waiting to happen. It's very congested, and the people of Palm Bay need something done about it right away.
On Heritage, there are no traffic lights or street lights, and the area is swampland, so fog is a major hazard. Drivers already deal with pileups like this almost every day, and more people will soon be using the road because new homes are under construction.
It's mad crazy. You can't turn out. It takes a good 15-20 minutes just to even try to raise your gas to get out of there. It's very unsafe. Really unsafe.
Neighbors aren't sure how many traffic lights would help, but say trying to pull out of the neighborhood is harder than it should be.
Like, it's a Frogger situation. It's a do or die. You go or you don't go.
The city of Palm Bay says change is on the way. They shared this rendering of a new project at the intersection. The city wants to add a traffic signal with added street lights and an extended westbound right turn lane for Malabar Road.
And get a traffic light up there. Stop signs don't do nothing for nobody because they don't care.
The city says the county is still looking over their proposal, and drivers could see work at the intersection starting early next year. And neighbors hope improvements start as soon as possible because this area is developing rapidly. You can see a new Publix is coming soon right next to the high school, and that is only going to increase traffic in the area. Reporting in Palm Bay, Esther Bauer, Fox 35 News.
Well, a 70-year-old woman is accused of driving drunk and killing her husband while the couple was searching for their dog. It happened last week in Palm Bay, and police say that Sally Gore drove home from having dinner on Friday when she and her husband noticed their dog escaped. Investigators believe she backed into her husband while leaving the driveway to look for the dog. They say her blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. And a St. Cloud woman will spend the next year in federal prison. A judge sentenced Leslie Gray for her role in the January 6th riot. Gray joined the rioters that forced their way into the Capitol building. She was sentenced to a year of supervised release and will have to pay $2,000 in restitution. Well, in Flagler County, 3 years after a woman died from an overdose in Bunnell, her alleged drug dealer was also arrested. Deputies say 39-year-old Malika Moulton sold a 29-year-old the deadly dose of those drugs. Now, she is charged with selling heroin within 1,000 feet of a park. Moulton was released, though, on bond. Well, in the Fox 35 classroom tonight, ACT test scores dropped for the 6th straight year, and some teachers are worried this means students aren't ready for college work. In a new report, Florida's average was 18.5. That is actually below the national average. UCF says it has hired academic advocates, and they're going to work with students who are behind this year. The school says the advocates will use predictive analytics to identify students who really might need this support.
And so we're trying to focus our attention on those who are projected to need those higher levels of support. And this team is prepared to deal with them.
Now, the report shows average scores in reading, science, and math were all below the benchmarks the ATC says students should be reaching when they get to their first year of college. Well, a new state law that bans professors from distorting significant historical events and teaching identity politics at state colleges, that was in federal court this week. Some professors are actually challenging this law, saying those terms are vague and for interpretation.
I do teach what I usually have taught, but that is at the risk that I just might not have my job. I don't know, next year, the year after, who knows, so that I might be disciplined. But I take that risk just because I believe in my field.
If schools violate the law, they could lose funding. The judge says he expects to make a ruling within 10 days. Well, former President Donald Trump's attorney Michael Cohen faced off with his ex-boss in court today. Fox 35's Anna Eliopoulos has the latest on Trump's civil fraud trial that's happening in New York.
This is not about Donald Trump versus Michael Cohen or Michael Cohen versus Donald Trump.
5 years after turning on his boss, former Trump attorney and fixer Michael Cohen faced off with the former president inside a New York courtroom. Cohen serving as the key witness in the state's ongoing civil fraud trial.
This is about accountability, plain and simple.
As part of his testimony, Cohen told a judge he helped boost Trump's asset values to whatever number Trump wanted. Outside court, Trump, who maintains he is innocent and voluntarily attended today's court proceedings, worked to discredit Cohen.
He's a proven liar, as you know, so a felon. Served a lot of time for lying.
The former president noting Cohen served time after pleading guilty to tax evasion, lying to Congress, and campaign finance violations.
We're not worried at all. So far, he hasn't said anything that matters.
Cohen isn't the only former Trump worker turning on their boss. Former attorney Jenna Ellis pleaded guilty on Tuesday to a felony charge over efforts to overturn Trump's 2020 election loss in Georgia. Ellis tearfully telling a judge she should have never relied on others, including lawyers with more experience, to verify things they told her about the election.
What I did not do, but should have done, Your Honor, was to make sure that the facts the other lawyers alleged to be true were in fact true.
Fellow attorneys Sidney Powell and Kenneth Chesbrough also entered guilty pleas in the Georgia indictment case days ago. In New York, Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
Well, Congress is making moves to try and stop robocalls. The FCC says it's their top consumer complaint, and Americans receive billions of these robocalls literally every single month. A Senate subcommittee met today with lawmakers on both sides, and they all agree that current legislation just is not working. Robocallers are evading laws meant to protect consumers from them calling. Well, now the FCC wants to use AI and machine learning to actually detect some of those calls.
We think that what needs to be done is the FCC should adopt a quick-acting, temporary restraining order type of methodology.
So the federal government says if you believe you received an illegal call or text or think you're a victim of a spoofing scam, file a complaint with the FCC. And developing tonight, a new study says it may be too late to prevent a large chunk of Antarctic ice from being wiped out. But there are still calls to reduce fossil fuel use and production. Fox 35's Ted Linder explains how this could impact parts of Florida.
A new study is spelling doom for a large portion of Antarctica and revealing potentially dangerous consequences for people living in coastal communities around the world.
It's pretty bad news all around.
According to research published in the journal Nature Climate Change, even if global carbon emissions are reduced, it won't be enough to stop a massive section of Antarctic ice from completely melting. Using computer simulations, scientists found there is little to no hope for the West Antarctic ice sheet, citing how rising ocean temperatures will continue chipping away at it even if carbon emissions decline. While researchers say it'll take hundreds of years for the ice to fully melt, it'll likely cause global sea levels to rise by roughly 6 feet. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, 10 feet of sea level rise is likely enough to put parts of Miami and South Florida underwater.
It's unavoidable that the problem gets worse.
Nations that signed the Paris Climate Agreement aim to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Still, the Earth has already warmed by 1.2 degrees Celsius. And this comes as data from NOAA found the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is now 50% higher than it was before the industrial era.
I definitely don't want people to read this study and say, oh, there isn't any hope, we should just give up. Because the West Antarctic, it's not the whole world. There's so many other impacts of climate change that we probably still can avoid, even if this isn't one of them.
Ted Linder, Fox News.
Well, coming up, a mother is facing 2 major medical challenges, and she is finding encouragement in a new look.
Now I'm free of the shedding all over my pillows and looking at the hair all over the house, so it felt good.
How her battle is also helping empower the students that are cutting her hair.
All right, and weather-wise, I'm looking at the latest information on this cold air outbreak coming through into the Midwest, what that means for Florida. I've got your forecast update coming up.
Welcome back. A college student died, and now her family is suing Panera Bread over its charged lemonade. The lawsuit alleges the charged lemonade has more caffeine than 3 cans of Red Bull. Panera says that it believes in ingredient transparency and it will investigate this matter. Well, a haircut can be a huge deal for some, from a child's first trim to a cancer patient trying to buy back some of that control. And some students were proud to be able to help with that milestone in one woman's battle. Fox 35's Beth Galvin is sharing her story.
Inside Kuhn Academy, where Jennifer Willen is a regular in the chair, she's bracing for a haircut she has been dreading, a chemo cut.
It's not what I wanted to do. This is not the route I wanted to take.
Willen, who's married to a Fox photojournalist and a mother of 2, was diagnosed with breast cancer in August, just 3 years after she was told she has MS.
I was actually booking an appointment for a breast reduction surgery. Because of the multiple sclerosis, I have a lot of back pain, so I thought this might help.
So she got a pre-surgery mammogram.
They caught the cancer by accident. I'm grateful for that, but it wasn't really the road we were going down, and it was just really hard to add another diagnosis on top of the MS.
And once Willen began chemotherapy,
the hair really started to fall out. I woke up and, it's on my pillow, it's all over me, and it was hard because it hit that this is really happening.
So she's turned to the students here at Kuhn Academy.
I came to kind of cut it short and wait to see how long it takes for it to fall out, and then I'll go ahead and do the shave.
Kaylee Coomer.
I was very nervous going into it.
And Diana Bahena work as a team.
Her hair was falling off, and we need to learn how to be gentle with the hair, like hair type like that.
Willen is one of the last clients they'll cut before graduating as master cosmetologists.
I wanted to make sure that what she wanted is what she got, and I wanted to make sure she still felt like she has a say in it.
And when the students are finished,
I thought it was going to feel like way more dramatic, but I'm actually feeling like really confident and good about it. A part of this is a lot about control, and I feel like I still have control right now and how I look, and that's exactly the feeling I needed today.
But the story of the chemo cut doesn't end here.
I was feeling good about it, and then life took over and it started shedding even more.
So rather than waiting to lose more hair, a few days after her original haircut, Willen asked a barber to take it all off.
Of course it was dramatic, but it wasn't this terrible feeling. You know, I felt almost like free of it. Now I'm free of the shedding all over my pillows and looking at the hair all over the house. So it felt good.
And talking to us on a Zoom call from her parents' backyard in Michigan a couple of weeks later, Jennifer Willen says she is embracing her new look.
I did buy a wig, but I haven't been wearing it around. I've been just kind of doing my scarves, and I think it's part of my journey, and I'm rocking it right now.
Wow, what a good story. I'm glad she's had good spirits. All right, well, let's go ahead and turn our attention now to weather. Here's a live look over Daytona Beach with our Hard Rock camera, and we were feeling some of those strong winds today. You can even see some of that surf out there. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Gardner joins us now. And Brooks, I know, of course, you're tracking a lot in the tropics out there that could impact some of our weather here in Florida as far as the coastal communities.
That's right. We're going to see our wave action, Deborah, just elevated all week long. And, you know, as far as the beach goes, always beautiful to go and everything, but it might be a better week just to kind of beach comb instead of actually go swimming in the water, because the rip current risk is going to be significant for us. Well, if you've got to go to work tomorrow like the rest of us, it's going to be in the upper 60s as you get out the door. No problems with rain or anything like that, but you may need a light sweatshirt if you're standing out at the bus stop for a while. Up to 71 degrees by 9 a.m. Everything's quiet right now on radar, Fox 35 Storm Tracker radar. A couple of light sprinkles working through parts of Osceola County near Harmony, but other than catching a raindrop on the windshield, not much to write home about. The rain chances will be at about a 10 or 20% shot along the immediate Atlantic coastline for the next couple of days, thanks to that breezy onshore flow. Well, it's downright beautiful right now outside. It's in the low 70s, pleasant conditions. When you're away from all that wind at the water, winds right now gusting at 25 to 30 at the beaches. It's pretty nice here. DeLand down through Orlando, winds about 10 to 15 miles an hour. The air's moving, feels pretty good. But, you know, back to the story about the beaches, our Hard Rock Hotel cam there. We've got a very high risk for rip currents right through the end of this week because, indeed, there is a hurricane 1,000 miles away. It's not going to impact us directly. It's going to curve on out. No problems there. But also there's a big wind fetch coming in from the northeast thanks to high pressure to the north. And so we're going to see high temperatures on the beach are in the upper 70s. It's not going to be the warmest of weather. Not bad, but with the wind blowing between 15 and 20. You might need that extra layer. That high pressure zone I talked about is sitting right here over the Virginias, and it's going to help to pump in a northeast flow. That combined with Tammy out here, a Category 1 hurricane set to weaken but remain a pretty strong low pressure as it heads toward Bermuda. That's going to really enhance the northeast flow, and that's going to push a lot of wind and water into the east coast of Florida, really upping our rip current risk. So the beaches should be very carefully attended this week. That sounds funny to say, carefully attended. If you attend the beaches, do so next to a lifeguard. If you go to the beach, it's going to be wavy and crazy. It's going to be like a washing machine. All right, 73 degrees outside. Look at that shot. That's beautiful, right? That's why they call the city beautiful. Well, just gorgeous this week. That's the only way to put it. This weather's going to be just gorgeous. Breezy with some passing clouds around. Rip currents at the beaches. That's about it. That's all I got for you. But in the big picture nationally, we've got a lot of warm air across the eastern 2/3 of the U.S. But this cold front is going to be the nation's first real winter chill, and it dives southward later this week and early next week, all the way down to the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas. And that means freezing conditions possible as far south as places like Waco, Texas, and as far north as the Canadian Maritimes. The Canadian Prairie provinces, as well as all the way east to the Maritimes. But for our area, we're going to stay on the warm side of this thing right on through early November. So it's going to be like a classic winter experience where our favorite part of winter here in Florida is watching it on TV. And that's exactly what we'll be doing. But they'll be catching between 12 and 24 inches across the high plains and the northern Rockies, as well as the Sierra of Washington. Oh, goodness, that's a lot of snow. All right, tonight down to 63 in Bushnell, 63 in Gainesville, 73 degrees at Cocoa Beach. Hard to complain about the weather here in Florida. Here's the forecast for the next 7 days. I mean, Deborah, it's almost like we've got climate control out there, and we put the thermostat on 83. Maybe that's a little bit warm, but it's still going to be great with that breeze blowing. It's going to feel so good. A couple of coastal showers by this time next week, Halloween. And the only thing frightful will be the costumes. The weather will be just about perfect. A little warm, but otherwise perfect.
I can't believe we're already at Halloween and November.
Yep.
Time is flying. All right. Thanks, Brooks. Okay, speaking of Halloween, before we head to break, check out this Halloween decoration from Orlando near the Waterford Lakes subdivision. Fox 35 viewer Chris sent us video of his display. He says that he changes the theme every year because he really wants to create memorable moments for his neighborhood. And I think he did a really good job, especially with all those lights there, too. It really adds to the effect. All right, well, we want to see your Halloween spirit this fall. So take a picture or shoot a video showing us your spooky decorations. Then all you have to do is email it to us at letitglow@fox.com, and we might just show it right here on our newscast. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Welcome back. Well, a gorgeous kayak adventure in Central Florida has turned terrifying intentionally, as Fox 35's David Martin explains.
By day, paddling the pristine Rock Springs Run at Kings Landing in Apopka is a real Florida treat. But the trick is to do it at night. Welcome to the new Halloween attraction called The Haunting on Emerald Cut. Designer Austin Stoner joined us live on Good Day Orlando to explain.
We paddle upstream, we get a little good workout in. We get to the top, we grab some waters, we wait for it to get dark, and then we float down for about 30-40 minutes through some decorations. We have people hiding in the water, jumping out and screaming you, shaking the kayak, splashing you, things like that. Our goal is to give you a few scares out there. That's the intention of this tour. We have people in the water screaming their heads off, and then we have our scare actors, family and friends out there acting, and I mean, I got goosebumps myself, and I planned half of it.
And how do those folks that are in the water shaking the kayak and scaring you staying safe in these waters?
We have the areas that they're in lit. They have headlamps, life jackets, things like that.
Because it's Florida.
It is Florida.
There might got to be a gator or two around here.
Possibly, yeah. They very rarely go up into this area. We work on this river every single day. We have tour guides out there every day.
They're born and bred around here, so they know it.
Exactly. We do our sweeps, we do our checks. Safety is definitely a priority.
Let's give the audience a simple example of the sounds they might hear in the dark, mind you, on a kayak in the middle of Apopka, Florida, at Kings Landing. Juan, give us a shot. My stomach rumbles, right? So you imagine you're in a kayak, not expecting that. That's gonna make you jump. And then something on the other end of the audio spectrum, a little shaker action from our friend Arnold. Okay, Arnold, do it.
This weekend we'll have some food trucks out beforehand. The tour starts at 5:30, so if you get here a little bit early to grab some food, you guys are more than welcome to. We'll have some cookies, lemonade, sweet tea, things like that.
This is the second year for the Haunting on Emerald Cut, and the 2 weekends sold out weeks ago. Austin opened up 15 more spots for viewers of Good Day Orlando this morning, and those too sold out during the show. So put this event on your calendar for 2024.
Bigger and better than ever.
More dates.
More dates. More dates.
In Apopka, David Martin, Fox 35 News.
All right, before we go, trending now, down in Texas is going viral for his show of support for his favorite little cheerleader. Look at this video. He spent days learning his daughter's cheerleading routine so he could follow along from the bleachers. He hopes his effort will create a lifelong memory for his daughter. Apparently, he was actually in the military, and so he's always away. So he wanted to make sure that he was going to make that special. I love that. Would you do that, Brooks?
Oh, absolutely. If I had the dancing skills. That guy was talented. That takes talent.
It took days. It took days. You got a couple of days to learn.
Dedication, yeah. That's awesome. That's very sweet.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, thanks for joining us tonight on the News Edge at 8. The news continues coming up tonight at 10. We'll see you then.